There are 8 sales jobs right now that will make you crazy money that you may not know about. In this video, I'm gonna list them all out, and then I'm gonna give a pro and con to each so you can make the best decision for yourself. Just to let you know, in my opinion, the best one is the very last one that I'm gonna list to get into in 2024. And if you're new here, my name is Zach Collins. I've been in sales for the past 5 years, sold over $10 million in products and services, so I can tell you right now, I know what I am talking about. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So job number 1 is going to be solar sales. Now you may or may not have heard of this one, but the pro to this one is the money. The money that you can make in solar sales is absolutely crazy because of how they pay. You basically just go get contracts signed for solar sales, and then as those contracts fulfill, you get paid on them. The average right now is $90,000 a year, and that is the average for everyone. But with the top earners making $200,000 to $400,000 a year, which is insanely good money that you can get very wealthy with at any point in time. So that would be the pro for solar sales. The con for solar sales is the hours. A lot of people really do not like the hours they work in solar sales. I actually knew multiple guys that worked in solar sales, and with that, they didn't like the hours because they were very long hours. And another big thing they really didn't like is a lot of solar sales guys go door to door. So you actually have to go and knock on the door, and you're gonna get told to screw off a lot. And if you can't handle that, it's gonna be very difficult. You find your own leads, you do your own thing, you knock on doors, and you hope that somebody says yes at some point. So that would be the con to solar sales, and you really gotta weigh that. Is it worth the money? Can you make the same money somewhere else, and see what you want from there? The second best job is going to be car sales. Car sales, of course, you can make a ton of money. And notice all of these, one of the big pros is going to be a ton of money, because that's just what sales is. You control your paycheck and you can make your own money. But with car sales, one of the big pros about this is, for me, I was a car guy. I loved cars. I wanted to drive all kinds of cars, and I got the chance to do that when I sold cars, because we had used lot, we had a new lot. You can work at any dealership you want to, and you can drive a whole bunch of cars. You can see them, you get to know about them, you get to know the new updates that are coming out, and it is absolutely amazing to do. And of course, you can make a ton of money with that as well. The average car salesman usually makes about 40 to 50 grand a year. That was the average that I was told on Google. However, my very first year, I made 150 grand. So you can absolutely blow that out of the water if you put the work in. Now, the con to car sales, and I know because I have experience with it, is the hours. You are gonna work very long hours, just like most sales jobs. Another big con to me was the management teams, depending on where you're at, as well as the bonus structures. A lot of management teams in car sales are either really laxed or they're really crazy strict, and you gotta really watch out for which one you want to work for and which one you want to perform in. One big thing as well is bonus structures, how you're paid, all that good stuff. That can be a pro or a con depending on what dealership that you work at. It can be a pro if you're working at one that not only pays a really good percentage in commission on the front end of a car deal, but also actually gives you the ability to make bonuses by volume, make bonuses via if you sell the car at a price and keep all the front end money, whatever the case may be. Or it can be a con, because I've seen dealerships that only do volume. So in order for you to survive, you're gonna get paid the exact same amount on each car that you sell. You just have to sell a bunch of them. And if you can't find your own leads, you can't go out on the lot. If it's a small dealership, that's gonna be really bad for you. So keep that in mind if you get into car sales. Now, job number 3 in 2024 is going to be pharmaceutical sales. And this is a really big one. I know some people that are in pharmaceutical sales right now, and you can make an absurd amount of money in pharmaceutical sales. As you probably have guessed, that whole drug industry makes a ton of money. So if you're in pharmaceutical sales, you can make a lot of money. I know a person that works in pharmaceutical sales right now that is just about making 7 figures. So you can do crazy numbers with pharmaceutical sales. That would be the pro. Also, if you like medical equipment, if you like being in the medical field, if you want connections to doctors and things of that nature, that's a really great pro as well for pharmaceutical sales. The cons really come within the time frame of what you're doing. Yes, the hours are long, but one of the big downfalls in pharmaceutical sales and in medical sales in general is you tend to travel a lot. So if you don't have a car that's reliable, you might need to buy one as soon as possible, because you're going to be driving all over the country, all over the region of which you're trying to sell in. You are going to to go everywhere. I've known a lot of people that were in pharmaceutical sales and medical sales as a whole, and they traveled a ton. So that's a big con if you don't want to go. It can also be a pro. If you really like to travel and you really like to be a driver, go ahead and do that, because I think that's going to be super awesome for you. But most people don't want to travel that much in that short period of time, and they don't want the expenses like gas and cars that come with that. So in my opinion, that is a con. Now, job number 4 in 2024 is pest control sales. So this is actually a really interesting one, because I had recently just heard about this from somebody that I know that is in sales, in pest control sales. And one of the biggest pros he said was basically you go on call. So you go when somebody calls you, or you can go door to door. It depends on how the company works. So either one, you get a bunch of inbound leads saying, hey, I have a bunch of bugs and all this stuff. You go out and you sell them. So that's an inbound lead, and it's super easy to sell them. Or you can go knock on doors. Now, the cool thing about it that I've heard is the pro is super easy to sell, because nobody likes bugs, especially in their house. They're afraid of termites. They're afraid of all kinds of other things, rats, mice, stuff like that. They don't like that around their house. So anytime you go knock on a door and you say, hey, there's been a crazy thing going on in the area, we can definitely get this service done for you so you don't have to worry about it. Most people are going to say yes, meaning you are going to make a ton of money in pest control sales. So I've heard it's absolutely amazing. The con behind that, of course, is you're going to have to door knock at some point, and you are going to have to travel around quite a bit. So be ready for that. But in my opinion, pest control sales is actually a really good one if you want to do in-person sales. It's amazing. It's easy to sell, in my opinion, and it's really easy to believe in, and of course, sell so you can make a ton of money. Job number 5 is going to be insurance sales. Now, before my dad passed away, he was in insurance sales, and I know a ton of people that are. Depending on what insurance you're going to go into and actually sell, I think that's one of the big cons behind it. You don't know which one to pick. There's a lot to pick, but I'll get into that in a second. The pro behind insurance sales is, of course, you can make a lot of money. Like I said, there's going to be a pattern with this, because all sales jobs that you get are going to make a ton of money. But insurance is a really special type, because not only can you make a ton of money, but it can build off of each other. So each year, each month that you're selling, you have policies that continue to grow and continue to pay you out depending on what you're selling. And I think that is absolutely amazing. I knew a guy that worked in insurance, and he took off basically 5 years because he still had policies paying him that he sold a long time ago. And that is absolutely incredible. It's almost like you're building up passive income at some point. So it's really, really cool in terms of insurance sales. Now, I know not all insurances are like that. They don't do that. You really have to get into specifics of that, which I do not know. In insurance sales, it is absolutely amazing. Now, the cons behind it is you will have to travel a ton. Like, there's no doubt about it. You're going to have to travel a lot. You're going to pitch not only to individuals, you're also going to pitch to big businesses, corporations, things like that if you get really good. Now, that can be a pro, that can be a con depending on who you are. Another big con with insurance is you have to go in and test for insurance. You don't just get to apply for it. You have to study, you have to pass the test, and there's a long waiting period where you're not really making any money at all. And not only that, once you start to make insurance your career, you really have to build it up. So be prepared for the first 3 years to not make hardly anything and then build up after that. Don't expect to go and make $100,000 your very first year in insurance, because it's very slim to no chance at all. Most people have to build up into insurance, but once they do, it's just like real estate. It just keeps growing, keeps getting bigger, and you can get very wealthy off of insurance sales. Job number 6 is actually a really crazy one. But before I get into it real quick, I actually have some resources for you down below. One, I'm going to have a free masterclass for you. Now, this is specifically for Simply Close if you want to get in sales, make it a career, and specifically online sales. So you can make a ton of money, you can change your life, and you can do well. With that being said, there's a free masterclass down below that you can watch, just training you on what it is. It answers all the questions about if you should get into it and if you should not get into it. There's going to be another link as well where you can actually go straight into booking a call with me and my team to see if you're a good fit to work with us closely. So if you want to do that, check out the description below, and we'll see you soon. Now, back to job number 6. Like I said, it is crazy. So job number 6 is actually enterprise sales. So basically what that word means is you are going to be doing big company sales. The pro to this is you're not going to take very many calls. You're not going to be in person very many times. It's going to be very slim on the deal you do because the commission and the deal size is so freaking big. You are going to make a ton of money by only doing 1 or 2 things per month, 1 or 2 deals, and that's it. But those deals do take time. You can make a ton of money in this because basically what you're doing is you're either selling a company to someone else or you're purchasing a company to then sell. Not you, the company that you're working for is obviously doing that, but you're the middleman in between the sales and the purchases. You get paid a very, very, very good commission for that because that is a very high leverage skill and businesses sell for millions of dollars. So think about the commission about that. Now, the con to this is you are going to be talking to pro negotiators, big whales that have a ton of money. They're selling a company for a ton of money. They're buying a company for a ton of money. They have a lot. So you have to be very well versed and very prepared in sales to talk to people like this. That is a big con for a lot of people because even if you think you're good at sales, you're not good until you talk to some of those guys and you actually get your foot in the water, because at that point you are not only just selling, you're selling with other people that have sold their life as well. So it is a shark battle in that tank and you've got to be well versed and well prepared for that. Now, job number 7 is software sales. All right, software sales is absolutely amazing. You can make a ton of money in it, of course, but the big pro here is if you're a guy that likes video games, likes software, likes anything that has to do with computers or consoles or anything like that, this is an amazing place to work. You're gonna get a lot of benefits from working for a software company just based on what they do, who they are, and what you like. You're gonna get a ton of pros on that. You're also gonna learn a lot about what software is actually about, what it entails, and how intricate it is, which I, in my personal opinion, think that is incredible. Because if you can learn skills while you're selling, that is an added bonus times 10. So software sales is absolutely amazing because of what comes with it. The con behind this is going to be the hours that you work, yes, but it can be in person, it cannot be in person, it could be online. So you really have to be technical with what software sales you're actually picking. Now, another big con, in my opinion, is software sales companies that you work for are either really small or really, really big. And if they're really small, it's gonna be very hard for you to make really good money at that company. If they're really big, it's gonna be really easy for you to make money, but really hard to get into. There's not really a middle ground with software sales because either their software is really good and it works and people are buying the crap out of it, or it's not that good and nobody's buying it. So you really have to be very careful when you're selecting a software sales company to work for. And most importantly, you have to understand one thing when you're in software sales, which is if that company is big, it's going to be very, very difficult to actually get into that company. So you have to be ready to crush interviews, reach out nonstop, follow up with them so you can secure that job. Now, for job number 8, this is the best one in my opinion to start in 2024 because it gives you freedom. It is high ticket sales, and high ticket sales specifically in the remote world, in the online space. The pro to this one, in my opinion, I have worked sales jobs before in person, and I've also done sales jobs with high ticket sales remotely. Okay, and I can tell you from personal experience, sales is great and you can make a ton of money, but there is no sales job on the planet besides high ticket remote closing where you can have the freedom and still make the money that you were making. I think that's the biggest difference for me that I experienced in my life. I had worked in sales, I had made great money in sales, but I did it in person and I put a lot of manpower and a lot of hours into where I was working. High ticket sales, remote closing, that was a piece of cake because not only did I make more money than I made at the dealership, I also was able to have so much more freedom. I could go wherever I want, do whatever I wanted as long as I was taking the calls. That's all I needed to do. So that's why I'm telling you it is the best one in 2024 to get into because you can have the freedom and you can still make the money that sales provides. Now, the con to this one, I don't know. I don't have one because I absolutely love it. That's why I've been in it for so long. That's why I did so well. And that's why I teach it now. There really is no con to it. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. And it can get you the life that you're wanting to have. If you want to spend time with your family, if you want to start a family, if you want to buy a house, you can do all of those things with remote sales because not only are you going to make enough money to be able to provide, you're also going to be able to spend the time with your family, with your kids, parents, your grandparents, whoever whoever it is that you want to spend time with, because as we all know, time is the most important thing that we have in this life. And if you can get it, get it. That's why I love remote sales, because it gives me that time to actually do the things that I want to do. So with that being said, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did in the comments below. And just to support the channel, make sure and hit that like and subscribe button so I can grow this channel and get videos just like this out to more people so they can have the choice for themselves. They know what sales is, they can make money, and most importantly, they can live a free life. So thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one.